Hello everyone, today we find ourselves on Surf Ebony, and this map is very controversial, or well, the tiering of the map is very controversial. It's rated as tier 2 on both KSF and Momentum Mod, and that leads to common complaints and discussions basically saying, there's no way this map is tier 2, it should be tier 3, and then other people who are way above tier 2 saying, there's no way this is tier 3, this is not actually difficult, just get good. And the funny thing is that both sides are right. I think, at least. I don't know, right? Your opinion about it in the comments, but I think both sides are right. This map is uniquely difficult for tier 2 because it requires a degree of endurance and kind of knowledge and sort of experience in Surf that is very unusual for a tier 2 map. It's just super long and you have to know a lot of the sections and how to do them, and you can never make any major mistake. However, on the other hand, none of the Surf required on this map is actually beyond tier 2. You don't have to do anything in particular, you just have to surf the map adequately well enough for a pretty long time. So ultimately, I don't really know if it's tier 2 or tier 3 either. I can see both sides. If it's in tier 3, maybe it would be misplaced there. Who knows? Now, what you're currently seeing is a 66 tick completion, and that's not very instructive for anyone who's actually struggling with the map. So I decided to make a 55 tick completion instead, which is just gonna be a lot slower and hopefully more helpful. So let's get into it. Enough waffling. As per usual with these kinds of maps, the first few ramps matter a lot. My advice is to start on the right side and then cross around this pillar. You can also start on the left side and not cross. That saves a little bit of time, but it's harder. Unit-wise, it's about the same. Either way, make sure you cross the spine of this ramp, and then the goal is to be fast enough to get through the window with no or just a minimal flick. Where exactly you bought this ramp doesn't really matter, and when leaving it you want to have about 1600 units. If you are a bit low, you can board the next ramp crouched, and a turnbind can help a lot with the curve part. If you go a little bit too high here, it's not a big deal, but in the upcoming section you really want to be very economic with your movement. Turn in quickly, don't moon. Also here, only go as high as necessary and try and get good boards. Stay very low here, and on this ramp you want to be a little bit higher so you don't have to flick too much. Here you can cross to the left if you want. It saves a little bit of time, but it's not necessary. And here you're really just gathering speed until we reach this big wall. Assuming you're quite slow, you want to board this thing as low as possible and then ride it like any other curved ramp until the end when you flick upwards. If you're faster, you want to board it higher and ride it flatter, otherwise you'll go way too high and fail the tower that way. For the big skip, you need about 2750 units, in other words, way too many, but at least in theory there's this shitty version where you need a bit less than 2700, but it's quite annoying to pull off. Inside the tower, how fast you want to turn depends on how fast you are. The faster, the more you want to stick to the outside. On the bottom ramp, don't go too low, and then it's usually better to ride it for longer than I do here, so you don't have to flick as hard. If you're faster, you can leave this ramp earlier, and then here I'd say it's a bit more comfortable to cross and turn left, but staying left and turning right is faster and maintains more units. This ramp is a bit of a run killer because it's hard to see, and if you're this slow, it's important to hit it low so you can flick high enough over the edge, which is basically a unit check. The big unit check is of course the ramp before the long jump. 2750 units is roughly what you need here. If you're slow, you want to do the jump from the very bottom of the ramp. If you're faster, you want to be much flatter. I'd absolutely recommend safe locking this. It's just incredibly frustrating to lose a run to it. And then funnily enough, the end is hardly a unit check. Even if you're very slow, just a tiny flick is enough. And that's it, Surf Ebony. Tell me what you think about this map and the whole discussion surrounding its difficulty. I hope this guide helped at least someone to complete it. And that's it. See ya.